Oh, yeah. Welcome back to Comic Book Club. Y'all, what's up? Hope you're having a great day. Today has been a great day. This week has been a great week. I hope you're all having a great week. I know we're only at the middle of it, but dang, man, it's just flying by when you're having fun, right? Well, hopefully people are having fun out there. So, let me get a rolling here with my stuff. Today we're reading from what is considered the first graphic novel, y'all. The first graphic novel. This is really cool for me because when I first got into the comic scene and I was being shown stuff from Fry and Matt, it was interesting because I really couldn't figure out the difference between a graphic novel and a comic book, Like it was disconnection. So this is kind of really cool. I'm glad my team came up with this one because I've always wanted a more better understanding between the comics and the graphic novels. Because to me, they're all comics. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what you guys think, but that's what I think. So let me know what you think though, because that's what I think, and who knows what that means. You know what I mean? So, the name of the graphic novel is "It Rhymes with Lust." Get the minors out of the room. What? Holy mackerel! It rhymes with lust. I'm. Hey, what's up, Rayla? I am not 100% sure what all rhymes with lust except dust, just, and rust, and must, and cust. All right, I'm pretty awesome. I rhymed more than I thought I would. But we will find out what rhymes with lust reading this awesome book. This is going to be fantastic. We're going to read the first several pages. This is a graphic novel, so one of the things that I've learned is it has a ton of pages. So a graphic novel, um, this one has actually 131 pages. So please grab yourself a free copy in the marketplace and join me as I read. But we're only going to read to about page 13. Now, if you guys want us to read more, of course we'd love to, but you got to let us know in the comments, so that we actually know that's something we would do because we'd have to plan it out with shows because reading 131 pages is kind of crazy. Just saying. I I don't think I have enough water to get me through that many pages right now. So we're going to read about 10 to 13. I'm going to try and end on a good spot, leave us hanging, but at the same time, give us a good establishment of the story, if you will. Um, I did read ahead a little bit, and I will be showing something at the end just to kind of draw in details of the story because we're not going to be able to get too much into it. Um, it Rhymes with Less can be found on the marketplace. Follow along with us. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Crypto Comics. Yes, please grab a copy. It's free. It's fantastic. This is one of the things that we here at Crypto Comics Marketplace really work on is to make comics more accessible for people, everybody. And this is one of the ways that we found to do that. So it's really really fun. It's really really cool. So let's see. I have been reading some classics because they're free to everyone, which is really nice. Thank you, team. And our goal of Crypto Comics is to make comics more accessible. So please, 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 if you can, share share this around so that people who do love comics have the opportunity to get their free copy and read through it, read it to the end. In a private setting, it'd probably be a lot easier than when you have to do it out loud. Um, Also, we're always looking for feedback, so we can better understand the creators and the fans. And so, if you guys have any feedback for us, please let us know in the comments, during the live stream, in the chat. We're always looking to make the marketplace better for everyone. It really is a marketplace for everyone. We really do want to be a part of that that group of people that bring blockchain technology to the world in a decentralized way that helps humanity and it doesn't enslave it. Just saying. We don't want to go that route. We want to be free. So, um and well, let's get into it. All right. So picture novels. It rhymes with lust. Now this was the first. So this is very 25 cents. I guess that's not bad, considering it's 131 pages. She was greedy, heartless, and calculating. She knew what she wanted and was ready to sacrifice anything to get it. Dang. All right. I think this comic is too old to have those pictures hidden in these kind of things. It Rhymes with Lust by Drake Waller, illustrated by Matt Baker and Ray Osrin. An original picture novel. St. John Publishing Company, Fifth Avenue, New York. Nice. Published by St. John Publishing Company, copyrighted 1950. 1950. Right on, okay. That draws into one of our last comic book readings, and we'll get into that afterwards. I will try not to react while I'm reading. I know that I do have a bad habit of like saying what I'm thinking when I'm reading, so I apologize for that. Um, we have got a little bit of feedback that if I can hold that to the end of the reading, it would be appreciated. So I'm going to give it my best shot. But if I don't, you don't feel bad if you have to say something to me and be like, "Hey, man, hey, keep it together." We'll try and be steady through this. So thank you all. Thank you all for always being understanding. The bald headed conductor cleared his throat and shouted, "All off for Copper City!" Paul Weber tugged nervously at his hat brim, picked up his battered suitcase, stepped off the 314 Express, and onto a wild, dangerous merry-go-round of bullets and embraces. Follow him as he weaves through a tangled net of double cross, dynamite, and disaster with a woman who bartered torrid kisses for his soul, a man who spoke with a 38 automatic, and a girl in whose shining eyes he saw reflected the tattered rags of his conscience. Buck Mason funeral today. This looks like a news clipping. Whole city in mourning as beloved mine magnate is laid to rest. The thousands of friends, associates, and employees of Arthur Buck Mason will pay homage to his memory this afternoon at the Copper City Cemetery when the head of Mason Mines Inc. and leader of the far flung state political machine is interred. Survived by his second wife, Mrs. Rust Mason, and his daughter, Audrey, offspring of his first marriage. Buck Mason leaves us to mourn the passing of his turbulent career, marked by shrewd business acumen and wise but firm political leadership. A graveside tribute will be read by Marcus Jeffers, leader of the First Ward and Mason's longtime associate, who will assume command of the state political organization. As the long funeral cortege snaked its way back from the cemetery through Copper City, Hall Weber, fresh off the 314 Express from the east, paused on the depot steps and watched the with interest. It was significant seeing a funeral on his first day in this sprawling western city, but he didn't know it at the time. Some parade. They must have buried the first citizen of the state at the very least. You got it almost right, mister. They ain't buried the first citizen. They just laid to rest the finest swindle artist west of the Mississippi. Pardon? A stranger's ignorance, old timer, but how does a crook rate such a lavish send off? He was an honest crook. He owned all the mines, all the banks. He owned the whole city and most of the state, and an honest crook he was. A politician. That ain't no funeral. There, it's a celebration. Only the dang fools are celebrating too soon. The boss is dead, but his political machine's alive. This town ain't heard the last of Buck Mason's crookedness. What? Did you say Buck Mason? Hold on there, old timer. Is the man they buried the husband of Rust Mason? Yep. Only just to be polite, you'd better say she's his widow. You looking for a cab? So that's it. She's married money and now she's got it all to herself. I see you've heard tell of the lovely widow, eh? I didn't know her fame. had spread outside Copper City. I got the fastest cab in town. Rust? Speak of the devil. Now about that cab. As Hal saw her face again, a thousand shimmering dreams flooded over him. Rust, soft, feline rust, not a day older. And as he watched, a feeling out of the past gripped at him, a feeling of fear and hate and love. Hal jumped into the waiting cab and sped off. Hal? What did you say? Rust, you look like you swallowed a canary. At least you might act solemnly, even though you don't feel that way. We buried father, you know. Audrey, dear, it's none of your business if I feel like smiling. You're no one to pretend sorrow over Buck's death. You avoided him like the plague when he was alive. I couldn't like a man who did what he did to my mother, Rust, but at least I didn't pretend to love him. You little snip. He was good enough to pay your bills while you ran around the bunch of crackpot students? Yes, his money was good enough. Money? Isn't that what you married him for? Shut your nasty mouth. Ladies, this is a funeral procession. Shall we have a little decorum, a little respect for the dead? What a long, tiresome ride. Well, goodbye, Mr. Jeffers. I suppose we'll see each other again. Call me Marcus, my dear. You'll be seeing a lot of me now that I head the machine. Feel free to call on me at any time for help or advice with the mines. I promised Buck I'd take care of you, and I will. As Marcus Jeffers left, a strange, half kittenish smile flitted across Russ's coldly beautiful face. Yes, she and Jeffers would meet again many times, but she would never need his help. She could take care of herself and him too when the time came. Mrs. Mason, ma'am, there's a gentleman waiting in the library. He says his name is. Yes, I know. Send him up to me in 5 minutes. Now, Audrey, go to your room and try to act like a sweet little girl, even if you aren't. Well, what are you waiting for? Get out of here. Very touching, those lilies. Don't worry, I'm leaving here for good. I don't ever want to look at your scheming face again. Wonderful, Audrey. And good riddance. I could never stand you either. But don't think you'll get away with anything, Rust. If you try, I'll make you wish you hadn't, and that's a promise. Hal Weber pushed open the doors of Rust's sitting room, wondering what it was that had made her send an urgent telegram asking him to come on the very day her husband was being buried. Was it by design, or was it just a coincidence? Rust, I, I, hello, Hal. Welcome back, darling. It's been so long. Who was that girl I passed on the stairs? My daughter. Oh, didn't, don't look so shocked. She's my stepdaughter. After all, it's only been, let's see, how long has it been since we were together in New York? 5 years? 6? 10 years, Rust. 10. How could you forget? 10 miserable years since you walked out on me. Let's not be maudlin, darling. The past is past. We were a lot younger then, and we had a lot to learn, both of us. In these days, you were the solemn young star reporter, eager to change the world. When they gave you the Erlanger Award, the publicity hubbub was fantastic too. Much for poor little me. Too much for poor little me. I was just a chorus girl then, darling, and I was a little scared being in love with such a celebrity. Is that why you jilted me? Tell me the truth, Rust. Simple arithmetic, dearest. You had tons of prestige, but the same old featherweight salary. I was a hard-hearted little witch, but that's past, Hal. You'll see. When I got your telegram, Rust, it didn't make sense. What sort of job have you got for me? Come sit by me, darling. You see, Copper City has two newspapers: the News Times, which everybody knows we own, and the Express, which hates us. You're the new editor in chief of the Express. You mean you secretly own the Express too? Right. It gives the grumblers a safety valve for the for their howl. You look so uncomfortable. Perhaps I shouldn't have broken all the news at once. Tell me, What's happened to you these past 10 years? Forget it, Rust. It isn't it isn't pretty. You're leaving your leaving hit me hard. But I guess the news of this job hits me even harder. My poor darling, relax. Don't tighten up that way. You're all on edge. Dearest, you've got to learn how to relax. Her heavy perfume was heady and seductive. The touch of her fingers arousing. There had always been something irresistible about Rust. He had never been able to put her out of his mind, even after she had walked out on him many years ago without saying goodbye. He had drifted in those years from one job to another, drenching his memories with hefty drinking. But now she was real, alive, enticing. It was hard to rationalize. With a sweep, he caught her in his arms. And then they start making out on a couch in front of her husband's pictures. That's just, I don't know about that, y'all. I just don't know about that, y'all. So wait a minute, Matt. What do you mean, my nasty Matt? Did I swear? Did I swear, y'all? I hope I didn't swear. All right, so that is how far I'm going to go. Again, if you would like, you can actually let us know, and we can actually read more of the story and continue on and make it episodes to complete a novel. But it would take a while. I'm just warning you. It would be like, you know, one of our shows a month at most. But we are interested to see if people would like that. Beside that, I do have some cool information regarding this novel. And hold on one second. I just wanted to see what M. Scott Russell had here. I'm so used to modern comics that the slower pace is rather unusual. I love the simple panel layout, and the art style truly exemplifies the times. Excellent, excellent points. You know, for me, for reading, the simplicity really helps with the reading. It makes it easy to follow the story. Um, but you're right. It really is uh, interesting when you take into account that this is a romance, mystery. Like, and there's a lot of drama that's going to be going on and stuff. But it is slow paced, and it is very bland because of the layouts and stuff. It very, very cool catch, M. Scott. Like, very cool catch. So let's see. What do you guys think so far? You know, me personally, I think it's pretty interesting. I think that the story has builds. Now here's some interesting thing. Again, I told you guys I ran to the end real fast. So if you just throw this up real quick, Fry. Um, this is a cool little like synopsis of the game players in the actual comic. Or I'm sorry, this is a graphic novel. In the graphic novel, and it says Copper City, corrupt crossroads of power and treachery, where voluptuous Rust Mason ruled the roost. With the strength of her political machine and the cunning of her animal grace, Rust controlled the turbulent metropolis, even as she did the life of Hal Weber, handsome, cynical newspaperman who blasts the promise of his career for her fatal embraces, and then mirroring the torment of his life in Walked Another Love, bright, fresh, exciting, the love of Audrey Mason. Woo, we got a scandal going on. Lovingly young stepdaughter of Rust, against whom she fought courageously for the soul of the man they both desired. For Rust never fought alone. Always by her side was the leering face of Monk Shirl, tight lipped killer, whose gun was for hire to Rust alone, and not merely for money. Alive to his half crazed longing for her, Rust used him as her high trump in the dangerous game she played with. Marcus Jeffers, evil political genius who ruled the teeming First Ward machine as he waited his chance to inherit the bursting treasure chest that was Copper City. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. So, so I think the start is a little slow, but 131 pages. I think this thing gets rolling, and there's a lot of stuff going to be happening. A lot of twists, a lot of turns, a lot of people being introduced, how they play into it. I totally would like to read the rest of this. I think it's pretty cool. Now, this is considered the first graphic novel, y'all. So it makes it kind of really cool and special. So let's read about that. So let's see. In 1950, writers Arnold Drake and Leslie Waller, both attending college on the GI Bill, envisioned a sophisticated, novel length comic tailored to their peers. So they were going for a much older audience. Collaborating with comic art master Matt Baker, known for singularly defining the genre of good girl art on titles such as Phantom Lady, they crafted a film noir, I hope I said that right, inspired masterwork of romance, intrigue, and moral relativity. Interesting. The publication of It Rhymes with Lust, Rust. Now I know that's what that meant. In 1950 marked a significant point in the evolution from pulp fiction to more sophisticated storytelling in graphic novels. Yeah, so remember we were talking about this last week. Superhero comics that were popular in the 40s gave way to other genres like horror, crime, and romance in the 50s. It's crazy that this came out in the 50s. And what do you guys think? I mean, even though graphic novels were born in the 50s, um, do you think that there was or is still a draw for graphic novels? Like, do you think having a big, long, 131 page freaking comic books styled creation to tell a story with, you know, would that be a big draw? I mean, I think that when I think comic, I'm thinking a short story. Oh, so M. Scott says there is still a major draw for graphic novels. Okay, okay. So these were something that were very, 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 like, this was the first one, and then it spawned this genre. I get, would graphic novel actually be called a genre? So, as what is the difference between a graphic novel and a comic? As I understand it, a graphic novel is the whole story from beginning to end. Hold on. Comic books are serialized stories, mostly short in length, and the stories they contain can continue over months and sometimes years. Graphic novels tend to be much longer than comic books, and also do something. Let me see. Comic books and also usually have their storylines wrapped up in one or two books. Okay, okay, yeah, because you got 131 pages. Um, oh, hold on. So here's someone with an opinion on the most major publishers are pulling out of comic shops and moving to graphic novel format and selling in both bookstores and major retail stores such as Walmart. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Okay. So it's an easier way to deliver the story, I'm assuming, because you can give more of the story in one book, possibly. Um, that's just what I think. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know what you guys think. We're really interested to know what everybody thinks. What do you guys think about graphic novels versus comic books? Um, I I I know that the comic book is a short story, so it's easier to digest. I mean, almost almost better for kind of the attention span that we have with with our short attention spans these days. You know, I think the comic book is a better way to deliver the information than a graphic novel. I mean, again, it was intimidating when I started rolling through this comic, and I mean, it just kept going and going and going and going and going and going and going. I was like, "Holy crap, man! This thing goes on forever." So for me, it could be overwhelming. I could be like, "Oh my gosh, this is a lot to try and digest." Where a comic is small and and I can zip through it, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, okay, that was easy." I didn't feel like I was going to get lethargic trying to read it. And that's why I personally like the comic book delivery, short and sweet. I do like the graphic novel aspect. I like how they break it up into chapters. You guys didn't see that because we didn't get through the first chapter. Again, 131 pages. Um, but they do have the chapter set, so you can read to a chapter and then stop. You don't have to like try and digest the whole thing in one sitting. Some people can though. I ain't one of them. Let's see. Hold on. Lindsay says, "I like the graphic novels are a complete story, and you don't have to wait for the next issue in the series to continue reading." That's an excellent point. Sometimes it's really a bummer while you're waiting for the story. And don't get me wrong, you independent creators, you bad A's, you awesome. We love you guys. We know you be working hard. We know you be working hard. So we ain't saying nothing, but you know as well as we know that when there is that time where you're waiting for the next issue, it can be uh intense and and frustrating for everybody involved. So so I like kind of what Lindsay pointed out, that the graphic novel delivers in a way where you can get the whole story at your speed versus having to wait for the next issue to come out to get updated, stuff like that. So that makes a lot of sense to me. That makes a lot of sense to me. What do you guys think? What do you all think? Um, hold on here. Publication of It Rhymes with Lust in 1950 marked a significant point in the evolution from Pulp Fiction. No, I already covered that, huh? Let's see. Even though the graphic novel was born in 1950s, do you think it became an accepted form of literature? That's a great question. Um, do you guys believe that it became an accepted form of literature? That's kind of interesting. I mean, to me, that would mean that accepted form of literature, you're actually like, so is that meaning that like a person with like a college degree is saying, hey, this is an accepted form of literature? What do you guys think? I don't know the answer to that question, so I would like a little help from the chat, please. Would be really nice. Hold on. Let's see. I'm just checking out the chat real quick to see if it's got some answers for me. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, and then here's an interesting. Some Rayla says some graphic novels are a series, though, like the new Teen Titans by Garcia and Piccolo. Now, what? Some graphic novels are a series. Oh, really? Okay. Okay. So I am familiar with Teen Titans on Cartoon Network. Is this a graphic novel of Teen Titans, Rayla? Like coming out in like volumes? Because that's pretty cool. So graphic novels can be serialized. No, it'd be serialized. They would, series of books being delivered, which, I mean, that can get you really hooked because you give enough in a graphic novel, 50 to 100 pages. And then, I mean, you're really into the story by then. 'Cause that is a lot. That is a lot. That is a lot. That's crazy. That's crazy. Matt Baker's artwork is crucial to the storytelling in It Rhymes with Lust. Yeah, I would say yeah, that makes a lot of sense. His expressive character designs and detailed backgrounds enhance the noir atmosphere. You can see more of Matt Baker's artwork in Phantom Lady, also available to borrow for free in the marketplace. Nice. All right, cool, cool. Yeah, you know, thinking about the artwork, I'm just gonna kind of zip through it. You know, M. Scott really nailed it. It's plain, but it's really well like done. Like everything's clear. You can clearly see. I mean, look at him scratching his head, and this guy like kind of staring out with beady eyes, like giving it the sneer, if you will. Yeah, he really did with black and white. He really was able to do a great job in portraying the characters and their moods. I mean, look at her eyes. Guys might not be able to see it, but I mean, look at how he was able to like to show that, and the little smile. You can almost see the little smiley sneer on her face. That's pretty cool. The smack was done well. Yeah, he really is expressive with his artwork. That's a great point. Matt Baker's artwork is really phenomenally fantastic when you really take a look at it. It's so polished. I mean, it really looks good. Impressive, impressive. So that's really cool. That's really cool. Thanks for drawing attention to that. That's really neat. Hold on. Let me catch up with some chat real fast, and we are at the 30-minute mark, y'all. So all of those just joining on, feel free to go back and watch through the reading, so that you know what we're talking about, and then join in the conversation in comments. Let us know what you think. It is pretty cool. Also, if you guys like what we're doing, please subscribe and share. Help us with the algorithms. We're doing this for fun and love of crypto and comics, and so we hope that you really like what we're doing, and can support us. It Our goal is to make comics more accessible and to really help creators and fans, in this industry. And it's been fun. It has been fun, and this has been really cool. I've been enjoying this. So I'm really thankful to all of you who come out and watch it. It is pretty neat. Thank you so much. Like, super cool. I'm just gonna finish off with a couple of comments, and I'm gonna bail because time is up. Um, Hold on. Hold on. Matt had a response to the sometimes when you're waiting. Sometimes when you're waiting for the next issue, I have to reread the last issue just so I don't forget the little things. It also almost converts everything to memory as well. Nice, good point. And yeah, I mean, if generally that's what I have to do too, Matt. Like when you're reading something, and then you have to wait a long time to get more information. I always have to go back and read what I read before I absorb the new information, or else I'm kind of lost when I get started. And it's a much better experience if I just refresh quickly, skim through what I'd already read, but just to get the gist, and then take off. I completely agree with you there. Let's see. Rayla says it's a new interpretation, and yes, it started out with Raven. What? Then Beast Boy, and then Raven loves Beast Boy, and then Robin, and now Star. What? Really? That's so cool. That's awesome. So it's pretty awesome. Then it sounds like it. That's great because oh, I always want in the cartoon on Netflix, of course. I always wanted Raven and Beast Boy to get together because they just made perfect sense. He's so like black dark kitty, and he's so like freaking golden retriever, happy go lucky, and she's like all dark and mysterious. I just like me and my wife. All right, let's see. The artwork reminds me of a mixture of Jerry Ordway and John Romita Sr. Interesting. Anybody out there who is familiar with those names, give me some more information, please. And then Rayla comes in, let me know. You can just Google Teen Titans Cami Garcia, and it'll show up. It's a 6-book series. Nice. Thank you. Thank you. And for anybody out there, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, it's not as just gorgeous and awesome as yours yet, but I'm working on it, brother. I'm working on it. And for all of you out there, I just want you to know that when you can grow a beard, you should grow a beard because beards are awesome. But thank you so much for joining me tonight. So appreciate you all. Thanks for chatting with me. Makes me feel not so all alone. I look forward to reading with you guys again in 2 weeks. We'll have a good book. Just so you know, I am talking to creators and seeing what creators would like to come on and read with me. If you guys have any suggestions of creators and any comic books who of a creator that we might be able to get interested in doing this, I know it's a hard ask, but I'm willing to go ask them. Some people they don't mind. I do have a few creators that are interested in coming on and reading with me and discussing the comic books afterwards. So we're looking at that, but we would love to hear from you guys. What do you all think? Is that something you guys would like to see? Is that something that a direction we should really, put some effort, logistics, and stuff into so that we can make it happen? Let me know. Again, I've been talking to some indie creator friends to see if they would be interested, and yeah, it's looking positive. So super happy about that. Thank you, team, as always. And I'm gonna check out. But hold on. I got it right there. Boom. I'll see you guys on the flip side. Laters, y'all.